This meeting of the Commerce, Labor, Transportation, Agriculture Joint Evaluation Self-Sufficiency Hearing for Professional Regulatory Boards will come to order. Clerk, please take the roll.
Senators Crow. Senator Crow is present. Hatcher.
Here.
Hatcher is present. Kyle. Oliver. Seal.
Present.
Seal is present. Senator Bowling. Representatives Fritz. Hardaway.
Here.
Hardaway is present. Renault. Cheryl.
Here.
Cheryl is present. Towns. Towns is present. Vice Chair Reedy.
Here.
Vice Chair Reedy is present. Mr. Chairman, you have a quorum in the House.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. If the Department of Commerce and Insurance will please come forward. We're going to start with the Board of Accountancy. Please recognize yourselves for the record and to the committee.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and members. Reed Witcher, I'm the Assistant Commissioner for the Regulatory Boards Division at Commerce and Insurance. We have several programs. Some of the programs have boards and commissions attached to the programs. In those instances, we have invited a board member to attend today, and we'll recognize those board members that were able to make it. Using guidance provided by this committee, our division aims for programs to have a reserved fund balance between 1 and 2.5 times annual expenditures. And with that, I'll jump into the Board of Accountancy.
Mr. Witcher, please continue. Go ahead.
Specific to the Board of Accountancy, I'm joined by Jen Binkley, the Executive Director for the board. Board Chairman Greg Gilbert is also in attendance today. We appreciate him being here. The board has operated in a deficit for the last 2 fiscal years. However, the board has a reserve fund balance greater than 1 year of board expenditures. Currently, a fee increase is not needed. With that, happy to answer any questions.
Thank you for that. Senator Seal.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Assistant Commissioner Witcher. My question is actually for Chairman Gilbert, if that'd be okay.
That would be fine. Yes, sir. Please recognize yourself for the record and to the committee, sir.
Yes, sir. I'm Greg Gilbert, Chair of the Tennessee Board of Accountancy.
Thank you for being with us today, Chairman Gilbert. Now, I understand that the current deficit was not created under your leadership. However, for the sake of clarity and transparency, could you please help explain when and how that deficit originated?
Senator Seal, I have served about 1.5 years in the capacity of chair of the board, and Mr. Andy Bonner, CPA, was chairman before me. Andy is a close personal friend. I think you may know Mr. Bonner, and I've met you, sir. But a lot of the deficit was caused, as we talked earlier, about some of the changes in compensation when the state did its, I guess it's called a fair market value study for the employees.
Senator.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Senator, thank you. And thank you. If I may, Senator Seal did come to our last board meeting and thank the board members for their participation in serving the state. So thank you very much for doing that, Senator Seal.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the comments. Any further comments? Representative Towns.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, obviously, each of you all for attending. I heard you give a figure, but you didn't give a figure. What is the actual budget? What is the actual budget?
The actual budget? Dive into the notes here.
Please.
For specific to the Board of Accountancy, annual expenditures over the last 3 fiscal years have been in the $960 to $1 million range.
Okay, now you're saying expenditures, but is that the whole budget? So expenditure could be that plus some additional, which makes your entire budget.
That's inclusive of all expenses that are billed to the Board of Accountancy, which would include staff, technology, investigations, legal services, any expenditure that the board has to take on.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
now, am I understanding there's a deficit now?
They have no, sir, they have a positive reserve
Okay.
balance that's within the range that the Government Operations Committee advises that it should be in.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Any further questions, comments? Any public comments? Seeing none. Commissioner, go to your next item on the calendar. Of course, that's cosmetology and barber examiners.
Thank you. Again, Reed Witcher, Assistant Commissioner for Regulatory Boards at the Department of Commerce and Insurance. I am joined by Roxana Gamusio, who is the Executive Director for the board. The board has operated in a deficit for each of the last 2 fiscal years. This board has a reserve fund balance that is slightly less than 1 year of board expenditures. However, for the last 2 fiscal years, the board's expenditures have exceeded revenues by about 2% each of the last 2 years. So we are very close to this being a self-sufficient program. Additionally, there are recent legislative changes that have reduced the number of required shop inspections for this board, which are a driver of cost. So at this time, a fee increase is not necessary. With that, happy to answer any questions.
Questions, comments for Mr. Witcher? Seeing none, Representative Harley.
Thank you, Chairman. Was there any public comments that came to you?
Thank you, Representative Hardaway. So in this instance, the board is not seeking a fee increase at this time. So the department does not hold a public hearing on self-sufficiency. These items are reported by F&A to this committee, and then the committee requests our presence. So I think this would be the venue if the public were to make a comment.
So you're suggesting that the public will come here instead of to your board meeting?
All of our board meetings for the Board of Cosmetology and Barber Examiners and any of our boards have a public comment period where members of the public, licensees or general members of the public can make comments. So yes, they'd be welcome to make those comments at our meeting at any time. And all of our meetings include an executive director report where the executive director briefs the board on items including the fiscal position of the board.
And do you give does the board make sure that those who are being licensed and regulated, are they being made aware when you're coming before the committee
Yes,
to
sir.
discuss these issues?
Apologies. Yes, sir.
And you haven't had any response to that?
No, sir, not to my knowledge.
Okay, I'd be interested in seeing how you do that publicity. If you could make that available to the chairman so he could share it with the committee, because I get an earful. Okay, thank you, Chairman.
Representative Parkinson, you're next on my list, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair and committee, I just wanted to publicly, thank Roxana and the team at Commerce and Insurance for the great job that they do. I almost want to say I get too much communication from. No, I'm just kidding. I don't get too much. There's no such thing as too much, but I know that we have a lot of things that are going on and great things that are happening in cosmetology here in Tennessee. We have an economic impact report that is going to probably blow a lot of people's minds, when they see the numbers, and a lot of it is due to the good leadership that's happening at the board and those board members and the legislation that we've passed as a body, to help to ensure and grow our industry, which turns out is a multi-billion-dollar industry in our state. And so I think the world of the cosmetology board and the director and the efforts and how we're able to continue to grow this industry. And I just want to thank y'all publicly for everything that you do.
Thank you, sir.
And Representative Parkinson, you are referring to Public Chapter 524 that was passed in 2025, remove the requirement that the board inspect all 12,000 shops and schools annually. The board will continue inspecting shops on a biannual basis. This reduction in inspection costs will help the board achieve self-sufficiency. Any further questions, comments? Any public comments? Seeing none. Mr. Witcher will roll right on to the next one. Home inspection licensing program, sir.
Thank you, Chairman. Again, Reed Witcher, Assistant Commissioner, Regulatory Boards, Department of Commerce and Insurance. I am joined by Glenn Kopchak, Executive Director for the Home Inspector Licensing Program. Like previous programs, this program has operated in a deficit for each of the last 2 fiscal years. However, the program has a reserve balance that is within the 1 to 2.5 range prescribed by this committee. Currently, a fee increase is not needed. With that, happy to answer any questions.
Questions, comments from the committee? Seeing none. Any public comment? Seeing none. Thank you, sir. We'll roll right into the next one of Motor Vehicle Commission.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Reed Witcher with the Department of Commerce and Insurance. I am joined by Denise Lawrence, Executive Director for the Commission. We'll see if I can finish before she gets to the chair. The program has operated in the red for each of the last 2 fiscal years. Following a positive recommendation from the Government Operations Committee, the Motor Vehicle Commission implemented a fee increase in September of 2025. An additional fee increase is not needed at this time. That fee increase will bring the program back into self-sufficiency in the next 2 years and will maintain self-sufficiency for at least the next 6 years. With that, happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, sir. Questions, comments from the committee? Seeing none. Any public comment? If not, we'll roll right into the next item, scrap metal registration program, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Reed Witcher, Department of Commerce and Insurance. I'm joined by Roxana Gamusio, Executive Director for the Scrap Metal Program. The program has operated in the red for the last 2 fiscal years. However, the program has a reserve fund balance between the 1 and 2.5 times guidance that this committee provides. Currently, a fee increase is not needed. With that, happy to answer questions.
Questions, comments from the committee? Seeing none. Any public comment? Seeing none. Likewise there, Mr. Witcher will move right into the next item on our calendar, Board of Funeral Directors and Embalmers.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Reed Witcher, Department of Commerce and Insurance. I am joined by Robert Gribble, who's the Executive Director for the Board of Funeral Directors and Embalmers. We also appreciate Board Member Tim Wheeler joining us today. The program has operated in the red for the last 2 fiscal years, and this board has a reserve balance of less than 1 year of typical board expenditures. On January 13th, 2026, the board held a rulemaking hearing to increase fees. We anticipate that that fee increase will be implemented later this year. The fee increase will allow the board to return to self-sufficiency within 2 years, with the target of maintaining self-sufficiency for 6 years. With that, happy to answer any questions.
Thank you for your presentation. Questions from the committee? Representative Hardaway.
Thank you, Chairman. Who is the gentleman with you?
Tim Wheeler is a member of the board who's attending.
No, that gentleman.
Oh,
Mr.
Gribble. Executive Director Robert Gribble is with us as well.
All right. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to hear a couple of words from Mr. Gribble.
Mr. Gribble, can you give us 2 words? Please introduce yourselves for the record, sir.
Robert Gribble, Executive Director for the Board of Funeral Directors and Embalmers. Last year, we were up here because we had a $27,000 deficit. First time we've had to come to self-sufficiency. Then this year we had a greater deficit, so we're back today. But as the Assistant Commissioner said, the board has corrected that by a fee increase, and we'll be before you again later for that.
Mr. Chairman, I just wanted a chance to brag on Mr. Gribble that we've never, at least I've never had a problem in addressing issues during some of the most sensitive times in a person's life, issues with funeral arrangements and funeral home, et cetera. And he has always come through in such a manner that the families are satisfied that they've been treated with dignity, and the legislature can be proud that he's achieving efficiency as he moves along in the service. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you for your comments. Thank you, sir, for being with us today. Any further questions, comments? Seeing none. Any public comments? Seeing none. Thanks again for being with us today, Mr. Witcher. Next on our calendar, Collection Services Board.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Reed Witcher, Assistant Commissioner, Commerce and Insurance, joined by Jen Binkley, who is Executive Director for the Collection Service Board. This board has operated in the red for the last 2 fiscal years. They are in the process of a strategic spend down. Their current reserve balance is slightly more than the 1 to 2.5 guidance. I believe that they're ended the last fiscal year at 2.9. So we are in a strategic spend down to bring them back down below the 2.5. Anticipate that'll happen in the next 2 fiscal years. A fee adjustment is not necessary for this board to maintain self-sufficiency. With that, happy to answer any questions.
Thanks, sir. Questions, comments from the members? Seeing none. Any public comment? Seeing none. We will roll to the last item on our calendar, Detection Services Licensing Program, sir.
Thank you, Chairman. Reed Witcher, Assistant Commissioner, Department of Commerce and Insurance. I'm joined by Ashton Bodie, the Executive Director of the Detection Services Licensing Program. The program has operated in the red for the last 2 fiscal years. Following a positive recommendation from the Government Operations Committee, the Detection Services Licensing Program implemented a fee increase in June of 2025. That fee increase will bring the board back into self-sufficiency in the next 2 fiscal years and maintain that self-sufficiency for the next at least 6 fiscal years. And with that, happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, sir. Any questions, comments from the committee? Any public comments? Seeing none. Thanks once again for being with us today, bringing us up to speed on the self-sufficiency hearing of your departments. And with that, seeing none, we have met our statutory requirements to hold a public hearing. No action is required at this time. We will now adjourn the self-sufficiency hearing and return in a moment for rule review. Members, don't run off. We've got more of this great day coming. Too late. Go ahead.